This is Jonah chapter 1 verses 9 and 10. And again, this is Jonah speaking to the men or the sailors on the boat, and also their response to what he says. And he said to them, "I am a Hebrew, and I fear the Lord Yahweh, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land." Then the men were exceedingly afraid and said to him, "What is this that you have done?" For the men knew that he was fleeing from the presence of the Lord Yahweh, because he had told them. So after the crew on the boat suspected that Jonah had angered a god, or multiple gods for that matter, because of the storm, and after they interrogated him, Jonah told them in verse 9 who he was. Now, one of the things that he said here was that his great God has made the heavens and the earth and the sea. Now, whether Jonah realized the significance or not of what he was saying, if he was indeed speaking with pride, he had just told them indirectly that his God controlled the sky and the sea, and therefore his God had control over this raging storm. Now we learn in verse 10 that they were already aware that Jonah was running away from his God, which would have made his God angry if his God were true. And the God controlling the lots that they had cast had supposedly indicated that Jonah was the problem. And if Jonah's God did indeed control this storm, then his God must be real. If there was any superstition before with the men, they were now becoming convinced of the existence of Jonah's God and fearing his potential wrath. And so, they were not only terrified at the reality of his God, they were also terrified that his foolishness was affecting them and that they might die because of it. And so they were basically asking him, "What have you done to us?" Are you convinced that Jonah's God is the same God who created you and calls you to follow him? As you meditate on this passage, think about how God is greater than anything else in this universe. Think about it throughout your day. And as you respond in prayer to this passage, tell God that you like everything about him. This is praising his name. Thank God for revealing himself to you, and ask him to help you to trust and obey him more. And step out in faith. Look at the world today through the perspective that it's the world God made and holds together.